Hello everyone, it's Tuesday the 12th of May. Welcome to our new pattern of talks on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but between the dark sky above the chaotic waters of the flood and the bright colours of the rainbow, God speaks to Noah. The first part of what God says is really interesting and very important. The second part is poetic and encouraging. So, after Noah, his family, and all the animals escape from their form of being locked in on the ark, Noah worships God. Then God pronounces that no matter how badly humanity behaves, God will never again curse the earth. God will never again destroy all living creatures. God is sovereign, and ultimately God is for creation and for humanity, no matter how wayward or indeed how wicked we might be. There is hope in that, because God's good intentions will have the final word and will override our destructive and indeed our self-destructive tendencies. Tuck all that away as a key early promise in the Bible. Then God says this: as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. I just love how those simple words are paired to rhythmically reinforce that the deep cycles of life will continue no matter what else is going on. I love even more how the writer of the Song of Songs takes the bedrock truth of changing seasons and wonderfully describes what that can be like. Addressing someone to whom he is very close, he lyrically points out, "Look, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone, flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come, the cooing of doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance." Isn't that just beautiful? And you know, it may be true to say that this year, as a side effect of coronavirus and the lockdown that we're all in, some of us have been able to spend more time in nature than we normally would. And it is magnificent to watch the seasons turn and to be a part of them. Part of your heart is gladdened and amazed, but perhaps part is worried and concerned, because nature doesn't seem as reliable as it once was. Of course, we all know that there have been variations in seasons. Occasional hard winters, very occasional long, hot, enjoyable summers. But that has been changing in our own lifetimes. In the big picture, with climate change now an experienced reality and climate chaos a looming threat, the regularity of nature does not appear as secure as it once did. As I was saying on Sunday, Ethiopia used to have 3 really good growing seasons with plenty of rain, plus a little half one as a bonus. Now that is down to 1, and the 1 is erratic. At a time, people in Malawi used to be able to predict almost to the day in November when the rains would start to get the growing season underway. But that is long gone. All this is a massive issue for the entire human family to deal with. There is the possibility of unprecedented migration as parts of the world become unable to support the populations currently living there. As usual, the impact on the poorest, most vulnerable and marginalized will be the greatest. But we can help by supporting Christian Aid. Its focus is on top-rate grassroots development, taking into account all the while climate change. Closer to home, you may have heard, yesterday we were 50 days into lockdown. It's hard to believe. But what is not hard to believe, because we are living it every day, is that coronavirus has seriously disrupted so many of the rhythms and the routines of what we used to think of as ordinary life. All of this can take a toll. We may, from time to time, feel down or lonely or isolated, worried about ourselves, our family, our friends, the future. We may be under greater pressure financially. We or someone we love may have had a particularly close encounter with coronavirus. You know that as a church, we have had to adapt and find new rhythms. We've moved to online worship, and we're finding our way into all the aspects of that. But we're still trying to authentically worship God and to keep what we do true to the ethos of Bandside. At this stage of the journey, I want to thank you for all of your encouragement and support in all of the ways you have found to express them. And on all our behalves, I really want to thank the behind-the-scenes editing and production team of Alice McKnocker and Ben Matson. Without them and their hours of work on each service, we would not have been able to do the things we have. More people are coming on board to edit and produce, and it's vital that we build up that group. And of course, huge thanks to everyone who has so willingly played music, sang, read, led prayers, or participated in whatever way. In that regard, thanks on Sunday to Alex Dean, Kerry, Hannah Rose, Brian and Helen Topping, Sally McCahan, and everyone who sent in photos and videos, even if they weren't all shown. And haven't the kids just been fantastic in their slot? So thanks on Sunday to Luke, Theo, Isla and Micah. For the first part of lockdown, I did video talks on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. But now for the next phase, we'll move to Tuesdays and Thursdays. In part, that's because we also need to find ways to think and reflect together, as well as to share fellowship together in new ways. So, to get us launched, I've organised a Zoom meeting for 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening. A notice with all the details has been sent out to the names on our Bandside email list. Now, if you're not yet on that list, contact me for the link to the Zoom meeting. The event is also highlighted on our Facebook page. 50 days ago, I had never even heard of Zoom, and the thought of hosting a meeting still makes me wobbly. You might feel the same about joining in, but let me encourage you. Give it a go, and we'll be learners together. For this first meeting, try to read Psalm 96 to see how it speaks to you in these days. I've got other ideas about how we can stay together and continue to build community online, so listen out for those. Before I go, a final word from the Noah story. Before the words of hope and the rainbow, when the ark was still being tossed about on the waters of chaos, we are told this: God remembered Noah and all the animals, and God sent a wind over the earth, and the water receded. And here's the good news for us. God remembers us too in our coronavirus storm, and God will bring us through. It will recede. I hope that I'll see many of you tomorrow on our Zoom meeting. I'll speak to you again on Thursday. So for now, stay safe in your own little ark. God bless.